Every year I see military families waste thousands of dollars and hours of their time, all because they choose the wrong neighborhood. The truth is, some areas around Fayetteville are perfect for military families. They're close to posts, they're safe, and they're affordable, while other neighborhoods, they will drain your pockets, it's a long commute to post, and they just flat out do not fit your lifestyle. So in this video, I'm breaking down the top neighborhoods in Fayetteville, Hope Mills, and Raeford in 2025 for military families. And if you stick around until the very end, I'll share the #1 neighborhood mistake that I see military families most commonly make over and over again, and how you can avoid it. All right, to kick things off, let's talk about one of the most talked about and more desirable areas of all of Fayetteville, and that's the Jack Britt district. So if schools are a priority for you and your family, then Jack Britt is definitely going to be towards the top of your list. Jack Britt High School consistently ranks at one of the top performing schools in Cumberland County, and that alone puts this area on the map. Most of the neighborhoods that you see here, they're newer build, and you'll see a lot of 2-story brick homes, and that means most homes in this area are around the $300,000 to $400,000 price point. So yes, it's not the cheapest in all of Fayetteville, but you do get that family-friendly feel, a suburban vibe with great schools, and a much safer reputation compared to some of the other parts of Fayetteville. Now the commute time to Fort Bragg, you're looking at roughly 25 to 30 minutes depending on traffic. So you're also not quite the closest, but a lot of military families are willing to make that trade so that you get a much better community. Bottom line, if you've got kids and schools are a very big priority for you, then Jack Britt may be one of the areas that you need to look a bit deeper into. Next up, let's talk about Hope Mills, North Carolina. And honestly, this is probably one of the more faster growing communities, comparatively speaking, in the area. Hope Mills sits just south of Fayetteville, and it gives you more of a suburban feel. It's a little bit more rural compared to Fayetteville, and it's a lot more tight-knit of a community. Now, depending on what part of Hope Mills you land in, commute times can vary quite a bit. It can be 20 to 30 minutes away from Fort Bragg, but really what the biggest draw here is the price point. You'll find a mix of established neighborhoods and newer neighborhoods here as well, but overall, Hope Mills in general is probably around the $250,000 all the way up to a $325,000 price point. So that's perfect for families who are looking to extend their BAH just a little bit more and get a nicer feel of community and not having to come out of pocket as much as you would expect as Moore County, for example. Now, I also love the fact that Hope Mills is self-sufficient. And what I mean by that is you have basically all the necessities that you need. You don't need to go into Fayetteville for anything that you need to survive. We have your own grocery stores, you have your own local amenities, you have your own parks, your own community feel, and it's self-sufficient enough for it to feel like its own town. So the bottom line is, Hope Mills is a great place for military families who are looking to extend their BAH just a little bit more and get solid value for their money without having to extend that commute time from Bragg too much. All right, now let's head a little bit further out to Raeford in Hoke County. So here's why military families are choosing Raeford nowadays more so than ever before. No city taxes. So that alone can save you hundreds of dollars throughout the course of a year. So for families who have a bit of a tighter budget, this could be a really big deal for them. Now, Raeford in general, it is a very booming community. There is all kinds of new construction developments going on, both residential and commercial, throughout the entire area. So that means homes here are typically newer, more affordable, and bigger compared to some parts in Fayetteville. Generally speaking, you're looking at prices between $260,000 up to $340,000. And one thing that you'll commonly find is that most of these homes in the Raeford side of town come with bigger lots. Commute-wise, you're looking at 25 to 30 minutes, generally speaking. But I just did a video the other day where I was showcasing the Kerwin Village neighborhood. Now, Kerwin Village is only 15 minutes away from Chickenfoot Gate, but there's still another 10 minutes or so that you have to drive through Chickenfoot Road to get to the actual heart of Fort Bragg, or like to the Soldier Support Center. So again, it's a little bit further out compared to some of the other parts in Fayetteville, but Military families are often making that trade-off so that they can have a newer home, bigger lot, and a bigger home with no city taxes. Another plus of Raeford is that it sits pretty close to Moore County or Southern Pines and Pinehurst. So if you wanted to get away just for a weekend or so and experience the shopping, or if you're into golfing, the golf community there is really booming, then you could absolutely take advantage of that stuff. It's just right down the road and you could do that for a weekend. So the bottom line for Raeford is, if you don't mind a commute, you're looking for a new construction home, which oftentimes they offer some pretty good incentives, you're looking for a little bit more land and to save on taxes, Raeford is gonna be the place for you. Next up, let's talk about Spring Lake. Now, this one's a favorite for people who really prioritize being in a very close proximity to post. Now, when I say very close proximity, I mean 10 to 15 minutes away from some of the main gates on Bragg. So that's huge if commute time is a really big concern for you. That being said, the pros are pretty obvious. You're pretty close to base, there's plenty of shopping and restaurants, and you get a mix of newer neighborhoods and more established communities. And families also like the quiet suburban feel that Spring Lake offers. But here's the catch, and it's something that I see catch a lot of military families off guard. It's the housing inventory. So the housing, generally speaking, in Spring Lake, it's a little bit smaller and you don't get quite as much bang for your buck as you would expect in Raeford, for example. So that means you might have to compromise just a little bit on space and style so you can have that quick commute that you're looking for to Fort Bragg. If you want to see how Spring Lake stacks up against Fayetteville and Raeford and Hope Mills a little bit more in depth, I created a quick cheat sheet for military families. If you want a copy of that, just comment compare and I'll get it sent over straight to you. This is a huge time saver and takes out the guesswork in figuring out which neighborhood and which city works best for you and your family. So the bottom line for Spring Lake is this is a great place if you're prioritizing a quick commute to Bragg, but you'll definitely want to plan ahead whenever it comes time to PCS from here. Now let's move a little east to Anderson Creek in Harnett County. This area has blown up in popularity with military families, and for good reason. So this entire neighborhood is newer construction. It's also in a great school district. Now, when this community was being designed, they definitely kept families in mind. There's sidewalks, you have a gate guard to get into the neighborhood through the main gate. There's pools, there's a golf course in this neighborhood. So you definitely have that community feel, and you're not too far away from Fort Bragg. You're still roughly 25 to 30 minutes away from Fort Bragg. Now, it can't all be sunshine and rainbows, unfortunately, because here's the catch. Most homes in this neighborhood, they are at a higher price point. You're looking anywhere from $350,000 all the way up to $450,000 plus. This neighborhood is definitely super desirable and homes here move really quick. So if you're not ready to act quick, that may make or break whether or not you get into this neighborhood. Now, if you're military and you want a custom home search tailored to your BAH, all you have to do is text me your BAH amount and I will get you started up on a home search just for you. That way I can set you up with listings that actually work for your budget. The bottom line for Anderson Creek is this is a great place that is family oriented. It's got a great community, you got all the amenities, but you need to be able to move quick. You gotta be at a higher price point and you gotta know the numbers before you make a move. Finally, let's talk about Southern Pines and Moore County. If you're looking for space, privacy, and just an area that feels like a getaway every single day, this is it. Picture this: large lots, tree-lined streets, enough room in your backyard for a pool and a nice fence, and your kids can ride the bikes here without any worry. Now, I think what really sets Southern Pines apart is it's not just a place to live. This is a place for you to really just unwind and experience life and comfort. Homes here typically start around the $400,000 price point, and it definitely can go much higher than that. But again, it's up to you to decide whether or not that trade-off is worth it for you. Now, what also comes with that is there is a bit more of a commute time compared to some of these other communities. You're looking at roughly 35 to 45 minutes plus, depending on traffic and where exactly you're located at in Moore County. So this commute, it is reasonable, but only if you value a lifestyle and planning routes somewhere that you know you're gonna enjoy your stay. So the bottom line for Moore County and Southern Pines is this is an area for families who want to settle down and enjoy comfort and buy a home, not just a house. And it's something that is definitely achievable, but you gotta plan it smart. All right, now that we've covered Jack Britt, Hope Mills, Raeford, Spring Lake, Anderson Creek, and Southern Pines, which are all great options for military families, by the way. Before you start touring homes and signing contracts, there's one mistake that I see families make over and over again, and that's choosing a neighborhood that, one, doesn't match what you were comfortable paying monthly, but two, not matching your lifestyle needs. I cannot tell you how many times families forget about the bigger goal, right? It's not just the home. Sure, the home is great and you can fall in love with the home, but don't forget to consider commute times to work. What local amenities are there? How close are you to grocery stores? And all the other factors that are important. Now that's gonna lead to you hating your stay here, but also creating all this undue stress. So in an effort to kind of streamline that and to kind of cut through all the BS, I created a free 2025 relocation guide. If you want a copy of this, all you have to do is comment guide down below, and it breaks down commute times from all these neighborhoods that we just talked about, school ratings, pricings, neighborhood vibes, and all the essentials. Or if you'd rather book a call with me directly, the link for that is in the description below. I'd be happy to talk it out with you guys. Otherwise, thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope you guys found this useful.